Hello and welcome back to Academic Technology at Pillar College. In this section of the tutorial, we're going to walk through adding a discussion forum to the site. And a discussion forum might be for a specific week of your course, or it could be a global discussion through the whole course. For a global course discussion, I would recommend setting that at the top here. This is where all the sections of the course go, the items in the course that are not specific to a given week. But if, say, the second week of class you want to have a discussion forum about the homework, we can put a forum there. So we'll say turn editing on. We can pick the best location for our forum, and in this case we're choosing the second week of the class. Add an activity or resource, and this is an activity rather than a resource, so we'll come down the list until we see forum. And we get a big description about forums and how to use these things and a link to help, but we just choose forum and click on add. This is where we set up our forum now. So the forum name is class discussion about the assigned reading. The description is, you can give as many details as you need to here. And you can even copy and paste that from your syllabus if you want to. Display the description on the course page is optional. I generally don't, but you have the option to do that. The forum type, there are several types of forums here. A standard forum is generally the one that I've always used. I have never actually even used some of these other ones, but feel free to experiment with them. You certainly won't break anything. Worst case, you just delete it and start over with a new forum. Attachments, you have some options here, but generally just leave these at the defaults. Subscription and tracking. You can force students to be subscribed, but when students are forced to be subscribed, that means that every time somebody posts, each student will get an email saying somebody has posted to the forum, which is very useful, and at the same time, it can get a little bit annoying if there's a big discussion going on. Subscription disabled prevents students from having that option. So I just recommend leaving optional subscription. Let the students choose whether or not to be subscribed, but you certainly can change that option if you feel the need to. Read tracking is also forced off or optional, and I recommend leaving that as optional, but read tracking is useful because it will actually mark unread posts as new. So if you go in and read part of a discussion, all those things get marked as read, and next time you go in, if 3 more people have posted, then you'll see new next to those 3 posts, so you don't have to try to read back through everything to catch up to where you were before. Each of these other items is optional, and you can explore these. Outcomes in particular, we're going to walk through a little bit later in the tutorial, so we'll come back to that. And common module settings, you can divide your class into groups. That's not something that I desire to cover here, but you can choose separate groups, meaning groups can only see their own group members' posts, or visible groups where you can look at each other's posts, but you're only conversing in your own group. And you can email me or check the help files if you need help setting up groups. It's not something that's used all that often though, but it would be useful for a very large class. And visible, do you want this forum to be visible right away to students, or do you want to hide it from students until that week, until you're ready for that week? And that's just, you would have to remember to go back in and show that again if it's hidden. So we can choose save and return to the course. That takes us back to the home page, or we can say save and display, and we'll save it and see what this looks like right from the beginning. So this is our discussion forum, and you can see this is the title that we assigned it. Here's the description that we gave, and there are no discussion topics yet in this forum. So you can wait and let students create the discussion topics, or you can add specific questions for students to address. So add a new discussion topic, and this is for you and for students. This is what you'll see when you add a discussion. So the subject could be, let's get started, and this is a message. Here is what I am expecting in the course. or you could ask a question for discussion, or anything to provoke a good discussion here. Subscription, again, as you're posting, you can choose to receive emails when people post to this, and yes or no. And depending on the settings in your profile, if you're set up to get a digest, which is one email every day showing you what was been posted, then it's a good idea to keep this turned on. Otherwise, I would say I don't want emails, because you're going to get an email every time somebody posts, and that can add up to quite a few emails. If you want to have an attachment here, if you have a relevant article or image or some other file, you can just drag that file right in here. And when you're done, say post to forum. And as you see, your post was added. You can have 30 minutes to make changes. As a teacher, you should be able to make changes at any time, but students will have 30 minutes to edit their posts. And so then you or students may go in and add a new discussion topic after this, and each discussion topic gets listed. When students click on the discussion topic itself, you'll see the title, and you'll see what was written here. Students can read this and then reply. Now, students won't see these edit and delete links unless it's their own file and it's within 30 minutes of their initial post. But you should, as a teacher, you should see these links. And so you can reply. If this is somebody else's post, you could reply and say, I disagree because, and that keeps the discussion going. You have the same options. Click on Post to Forum, and now you'll see that this response to the post is actually indented. So here's the first post. The response is slightly indented here. And this lets you know, the amount of indentation lets you know that this is a response to this post. If somebody responds to the second post, it will be indented here. If another person responds to the first post, it'll be indented here. And this becomes very second nature once you use this a little while. You get used to how to read these. So I encourage you to have these discussion forums in your class. It's an excellent way to reinforce learning, and for students who don't think as quickly as others in face-to-face discussions, this is a great way for all the students to be able to have time to think through questions, come up with really good solid answers, and really engage each other in a level that you can't always do in a face-to-face discussion. It gives all students a chance to have more input and participate more in the course. In addition, if you have to miss a week of class because of a weather incident or an emergency, this is a good way to actually make up that class time. Give some sort of a reading assignment or some other place where students will get some information, learn some things, and then you discuss that learning here. And as long as you gear the discussion so that the students are participating roughly the same amount of time as you would be in a traditional class setting, then that's a legitimate way to make up that class time. And anytime you want to get back to the class homepage, you can see here we are in this discussion topic. Here's the discussion itself, and then this is the main course website. So you can click on that part of the breadcrumbs in our menu here, and we're back to the course page. So if we turn off editing, we'll see how everything looks here. So we have all our course material for the general course at the top, and in January 19th class session, we have a class discussion about the assigned reading. So that's our link to the discussion forum. I hope this has been helpful, and we will add some other useful resources and assignments next time.